Okay, in the last class, we tried to understand about chromosomal theory of inheritance. Since Mendel was not able to explain the physical nature of the genes or the factors according to Mendel, Mendelian factors are nothing but the genes. He told that they are the discrete particles, but he was not able to explain the exact structure of these genes and or you can say the Mendelian factors. And he was not able to provide the evidence. So he was not able to provide much evidence regarding the structural aspects of the genes or you can say the factors. And he was not able to give the exact location of these genes. And since mathematically he derived some of the equations or you can say the ratios and all, for the first time it was in biological field, it was for the first time they used mathematics to this greater extent. So in that he was very successful, to be frank, and he was able to give us the ratios and all. And later on we have the people who gave us the idea, who rediscovered this Mendelian inheritance, but to explain how the genes are going to be passing from one generation to another generation, it is Sutton and Boveri who gave us chromosomal theory of inheritance. Who proposed the chromosomal theory of inheritance?
Sutton and Boveri.
Sutton and Boveri. So, in this, 1 minute. So, they proposed that the movement of genes is in parallel with the chromosomes, the movement of the chromosomes here. So, with the help of the movement of the chromosomes from one generation to another generation, they were able to explain inheritance here. And according to them, the genes are present in chromosomes and they are always present in pairs. What are present in pairs? What are present in pairs? You can see chromosomes and genes are present in pairs. Chromosomes and genes are present in pairs in the case of diploid cells. And during the gametogenesis, that is the meiosis, meiosis 1 and also meiosis 2 are happening here. The chromosomes are always present in pairs and we call them as the homologous pair because of the same structure. Homo means similar, logous means, what do you mean by logous? What do you mean by logous?
Structure.
Homo means similar, logos means structure. They have similar structure. So that's why they are called homologous pair of chromosomes here. And these homologous chromosomes, let me say this is homologous pair of chromosome. So they are present like this. And during meiosis, they are going to separate, segregate. They get separated here. Okay, so thereby the gamete becomes haploid pair, haploid individual here. So 46 chromosomes are there in the case of human beings. When the gametes are produced in human beings, they become 23. 46 become 23 chromosomes here. So that means only one set will be present here. And once the fertilization happens between the male and female gamete, both are going to be joined and thereby the chromosomal number is going to be reinstated. It is going to be reinstated. Thereby the individual becomes diploid in condition here. So this is what? That means, so where are the genes present? Where are the genes present?
Chromosomes.
They are present in the chromosomes. And quite naturally with the help of movement of the chromosomes, the genes are also moving along with the chromosomes. Because they are present in the chromosomes, the movement of the chromosome is the one which is deciding the movement of the genes. That's why it is said to be chromosomal theory of inheritance. Only thing is that, in the sexual reproduction, the variations can happen. It's all because of the chances which are happening in this case. You can find here. So here, if you are having a cell, let me say gamete mother cell is there, we have different ways. What are the different combinations of the gametes? You know, we have 23 pair of chromosomes in the case of human beings. Let me take only one chromosome in that. Only one pair, or let me say two pair of chromosomes here. What are the different combinations you can have here? In that, it can be, for example, in the case of pea plant, we have the genes responsible for color of the seed and also the shape of the seed. So the color of the seed is the gene responsible for color of the seed is present in one chromosome, and the shape of the seed gene is responsible for is present on another chromosome. You can find here during the gametogenesis duplication happens here, replication of chromosomes, that is the DNA you can find here. So one chromatid becomes two in this case. And so then during meiosis 1, so they get segregated. You can find here this Y, capital Y and capital R comes here, and small y, small r is going to the another gamete here. Then the next one is going to be just a mere mitosis, that is called meiosis 2 stage, and whatever is there here is going to be retained here. So capital Y, capital R is small I, small y, small r. Wherein in another permutations, or what is the chance we are having here? You can see capital Y with small r, capital Y with small r, small y with capital R. You see, these are the different combinations you can get. It is all because of meiosis which is happening here. And you can just see here what are the possibilities we are having here. So if you look at this. So the first possibility, if you take here in this, it is there in your textbook. So you can see two pair of chromosomes here. So this is one pair, this is another pair. Just for your easy identification, even though the chromosomes are similar in structure. What do you call these chromosomes with a similar structure?
Homologous.
Even though they are homologous, we have given in different colors. You can see yellow and also, what is this brown? What is this color?
Orange.
Orange. Orange, Orange. So most of us are having color blindness then. I don't know. Okay, anyway, you are all very good in say colors and all, because you are been studying art from class 6th. So you can see the green one and also the red one here among the second pair. And what is the possibility 1? I told you different permutations and combination. You can see the orange with green here and yellow with red. That's why the gametes are going to be in the haploid individuals. You know, the gametes are haploid in nature, and they become orange and also green here and yellow and red here. But you look at the another possibility here. So there are two pair of chromosomes. You can find here orange with red and yellow with green. Orange with red and also yellow with green. You see the different possibility. And you can have like this also. Orange with red, orange with green, yellow with red, yellow with green. So 4 different possibilities also you can have here. That's why we call it as independence assortment of genes or alleles in the case of Mendelian inheritance. So that is the third law of Mendelian inheritance. So independent assortment of genes, wherein it is not because of the independent assortment of genes, it is because of the independent assortment of the, what is that? Chromosomes. You see, The chromosomes are assorting. What do you mean by assortment?
Separating.
Separating, grouping. They are separating, they are grouping independently. So they are not dependent each other here. That's why we will be having different combinations, and that's why you will be having the variations in the offsprings from that of the parent here. It is not going to be 100% perfect. Even though we have got the genes from our parents, the characters are going to be very much different from our parents. It's all because of the different permutations and combinations we are having, different set of chromosomes we are getting in our body. This is how the chromosomal theory of inheritance works here. Any question here? Any question? Any doubt? Yes, this is another one. This is also there in our textbook. Okay? Same thing here, anyway. Same possibility we have given here. Same possibility. Then you see here, this is a gap on phase. You know about the cell cycle. This is the gamete mother cell. It undergoes the synthesis phase, and thereby it is going to form, you can see the two chromatids become 4 here, 4 here. Then they undergo the meiosis here. They undergo meiosis. Once the enough amount of DNA copying is done, then they go for meiosis here. Okay, so that the gamete cells are going to be produced here, which you can see the germ cells or gamete cells here. Any question here regarding chromosomal theory of inheritance? Any doubt here? And a lot of experiments. Yes, you are not speaking.
Yes, sir.
Any doubts? Others, please.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Then we have, for providing experimental proof, so we have different scientists who have conducted experiments to prove the laws of inheritance here. And the pea and other plants take a lot of time. Comparatively, it is about 3 months, 4 months and all. And to prove or to have the experimental proof or verification of the chromosomal theory of inheritance, so we have many scientists who have conducted the experiments, and prime among them, main among them, is Thomas Hunt Morgan. So Morgan is the one who is well known in the field of experimental genetics. He is said to be the father of experimental genetics. He conducted so many experiments, and he worked with the fruit flies which are called Drosophila melanogaster. Have you seen these fruit flies? Have you seen the fruit flies? If you are keeping any vegetables and fruits in your houses, you will see some tiny flies which are present on the fruits or maybe the vegetables which are getting rotten.
Yes, sir.
So they are nothing but Drosophila melanogaster. You can do it in your house. You can definitely you can culture them. You can grow them very easily. You can grow them and you can observe them also. So Morgan worked with tiny fruit flies, that is Drosophila melanogaster. This Drosophila melanogaster is the one which is used most in the field of genetics. Which one is used very much in the field of genetics?
Drosophila melanogaster.
Wherever the genetics studies are being done or experiments are being done, Drosophila melanogaster is one of the experimental animal which is being used here. What is the reason for selecting this Drosophila melanogaster by Morgan and his team? So it is having some advantageous characters here. So because it is very suitable for genetic studies, the reason being, I told you, you can culture it. So if you take some rotten vegetable or fruit, and if you put it in a box and then keep it for 1 or 2 days, within that you will be able to see the insect. Which is that insect? Which is that insect?
Drosophila melanogaster.
Drosophila melanogaster, which is called fruit fly. You should write the spelling of Drosophila melanogaster. Very important. Drosophila melanogaster. You should practice it. That they can be grown on simple synthetic medium in the laboratory. And they are going to complete their life cycle within 2 weeks, 14 to 15 days, wherein pea plant requires around 120 days to 150 days. A single mating could produce a large number of progeny flies. So hundreds of flies can be produced in a single mating. And a clear differentiation of male and also female flies. You can see the male and also female flies are different. This is female and this one is male. Very easily you can identify the female with that of male here. Differentiation can be done very easily. This is female and this one is male. Can you see this one? Who is bigger in size?
Yes,
Who is
sir.
bigger in size?
Male.
Female.
Male or female?
Female.
Female. Female is bigger in size. And that is the reason, that is clear differentiation is there between the male and female flies. That means you can identify them easily. And many variations can be seen with low power microscopes if you are using Drosophila melanogaster. There is another advantage we are having. So we can identify the variations very easily by using low power microscope. That is the reason why this particular insect, Drosophila melanogaster, has been used here. So these points are very, very important from the point of examination also. They have asked in the examination also. What are the advantages of using Drosophila? Take the question. List out the advantages of using Drosophila. Drosophila melanogaster, that is.
Sir,
Yes.
third point.
Enappa?
Third point, sir. Third point.
Third point. Complete the life cycle about this one. Grown on simple synthetic
Yes, sir.
medium in the laboratory. This one, you know.
Yes, sir.
So they can be grown very easily by providing some nutrient medium. Some banana pieces you can get, or any synthetic medium can also be used here. Okay. So very easily you can grow them. So even the vegetable pieces are more than enough, or maybe the fruit pieces are more than enough to grow them. There is a reason why we do it. We are going to grow them very easily. Have you seen the culturing of this one? How exactly they are being cultured? Nodidira? Nodidira?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Just to show you this. Normally they use the bottles. You can see here. So this is the nutrient medium they use. They cover with some cotton wool, and if they leave it for 2-3 days, they will be able to get the Drosophila. This is Drosophila. Okay, these are all the containers which they are used in the laboratories. Very easily you can grow them. Okay, you can see here also, and of course you can see here. This is Drosophila melanogaster. Okay, clear? They are commonly called fruit flies because they are the ones which are seen on. They are going to be grown on the
Proper
fruits.
fruits.
You see this? Is pardon me? You can see now?
Yes. Sir.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes?
Sir.
Okay. So this is about the Drosophila melanogaster. Any question here? So then let us move on to another very, very important area. So now, up to now, we have seen that Mendelian inheritance, if you take here, in Mendelian inheritance, if you take Mendelian inheritance in the dihybrid cross which we have taken, so if you take dihybrid cross, in the dihybrid cross we are having, if you look at the dihybrid cross, so for example you tell me any example here, any example, any one example you give me, parents. If you take homozygous, dominant with maybe the tall, that is height, and also we are having maybe the shape of the seed, that is yellow seed, yellow color, crossed with dwarf, and are you able to see the board?
Yes, sir.
Correct, kanta idea?
Yes, sir.
So dwarf, and also let me say this is dwarf, and also what should be another recessive trait for color of the seed?
Green.
Dwarf and green. I am not going for crossing here. Let me say in the F2 generation. Can you tell me the different combinations or the phenotypes we are able to get? Different phenotypes in the F2.
Parental, sir, first.
Capital T, capital Y.
No, I don't want the phenotype. I want only phenotype. So it is going to be tall, yellow,
Yellow,
and also
tall green,
dwarf, green. So they are
Dwarf
going to
yellow.
be 9, and this is going to be, how many dwarf green will be there? Both
Three.
races will be only 1. Is it not?
Yeah.
One alike. So
Yes,
both
sir.
of them are parental combinations. Parental combinations. And we have the non-parental, or you can also say the recombinants. Which are the recombinants? We are going to have
tall green,
Tall green.
one dominant point and another one
Dwarf yellow.
tall green, dominant and recessive, and with recessive and also dwarf yellow. That is recessive with the dominant one. That is the combination we are having. So what is the combination, the ratio?
3,
3:3.
3:3.
9:3:3:1 we are having.
3:3.
And in this, they are said to be the recombinants. So we can agree that the parental is because they are being passed from one generation to another generation. And what is the percentage of this parental combinations then? What is the percentage if you take? Percentage. So 9 plus 1 how many then? 10 out of how many total individuals are there? Types of individual genotypes are there.
16,
So out of 16 individuals, you are having 10 with the parental genotypes, And here, so 6 out of 16 individuals are having the non-parental non-parental combination, or you can say the recombinants here. Then what is the percentage? 10 out of 16. Be quick. Experts all mathematics ಹೇಳಿ ಬೇಗ.
62.5.
Pardon me? ಎಷ್ಟು percentage ಅಪ್ಪ?
62.5.
62.5 approximately. Okay, then this one is going to be
37.5.
37.5. It is going to be 37.5. So the parental combination is going to be around 62.5, and also the non-parental combination is going to be around 37.5%. That you should remember. This you should remember. ಯಾರಪ್ಪ ಅದು ಮೈಕ್ರೋಫೋನ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಸೌಂಡ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅದು. ಹಲೋ, ask them not to speak. So now, so is it that we are going to get the same percentage every time? Is it that we are going to get the same percentage every time is the question. We know that the genes are present on the chromosomes. And some genes may be present on the same chromosome, and some genes are going to be present on different chromosomes here. Is it not? Do you agree with me? Do you agree with my point or not?
Yes,
So
sir.
then, is it right to say that we are going to get the same percentage of parental combinations and also non-parental combinations for all the characters in a dihybrid cross?
No, sir.
So why? If not, why? So this particular concept is given by another important concept. We call it as linkage and recombination. Let us see this linkage and also recombination. So what is this linkage? You see here, this is one chromosome, this is one chromosome, and the distance between the genes in the chromosome.
Sir, PPT is not coming.
ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? 1 minute. I didn't share, I think. Now I think you will be able to get. Yes?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
So here, this is one chromosome. Let me see the genes which are present on the same chromosome. Same chromosome. Of course, we have the genes which are present on different chromosomes also. And let us take the example where we have the genes which are located on the same chromosome. So, we have the genes responsible for length of the appendages in the case of Drosophila melanogaster, and the color of the body, and type of the eye, and type of the wings, and also in the eyes again the color of the eyes, that is whether it is red eyes or brown eyes. Like this we have different genes. We have taken 5 genes only. We have many more genes in the same chromosome. Do you know the chromosomal number in the case of Drosophila?
4 chromosomes.
4 pair of chromosomes. Totally 8 chromosomes are present here. 4 pair of chromosomes. 2n is equal to 8. Applied set is 4. And the distance between the genes on the chromosome is said to be map unit. What is that called? What is that called?
Map
You have to
Map
write
unit.
the distance between map unit is the distance between, you have to write that one. The distance between genes on the same chromosome, the distance between the genes on the same chromosome is called map unit.
Once again, sir.
The distance between two genes on the same chromosome is called map unit. Got it here? So this is an example which I have taken. Let us see this linkage and recombination then. We'll understand the meaning of linkage and recombination. Then we'll go for the example and also how exactly this is going to work here. In this, class. In this you can see ಒಂದು 10 ನಿಮಿಷ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಮುಗಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. Here let us see what is this linkage first and also recombination. This is very important concept from the point of examination also. Linkage and recombination. Can you see the board?
Sir, left ಕಾಣ್ತಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್.
Now ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಈಗ?
ಸರ್ ಎಡಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
I think now it is visible. Huh?
Right, sir.
Let me take a chromosome. Homologous pair of chromosome. Okay. In this, we are having, let me say, this is A gene, gene A, capital A, small a I have written, and it can be gene B, some area, capital B, let me say, both are dominant alleles. And let me say C here, and somewhere here you are having X. You can see, you know, can't idea? X and X.
Yes, sir.
Then we are having somewhere here, let me say YG. If you look at it, this is one chromosome. You can just show like this also. You can show like this also. Okay. If you want, you can show like this also. This is also another way. So in this, the physical distance between them, the physical distance between the different genes on the same chromosome. So if you look at this one, among this B, we are having X, then A, then we are having Y and also C. So which pair among them is having more, you can say, association because of the physical distance among them. So this A and Y distance is going to be less physical distance means less physical distance is responsible for more linkage. And more the distance between them. For example, here if you see B and C, if you take B and C. So here in the same chromosome, we are having more physical distance between them. Have you got here? And because of that, they have very less linkage. That's why linkage is said to be the physical association between two genes on the same chromosome. The physical association between two genes on the same chromosome is said to be linkage. Got the meaning here? Got the meaning? Anyway, we will see this linkage and also recombination with the example.